Well, you can get on it.
Look, Jim, that, the thing about this internet, Cliff, is when you're in Texas, you can dial into.
Even the old man knew that.
I will.
Good morning, Richland County. It's 9:30 a.m. Thursday, June 11th. The Richland County Board of Commissioners is now in session. I'm County Commissioner Cliff Mears, joined by fellow Commissioners Vero and Banks, Stacy Crawl, County Administrator Andrew Keller, and we are joined by our world-class County Auditor team of Amy and Pat Dropsy. Also,
Maybe half of that is world class.
Amy makes it.
Amy makes it world class.
It's true.
Greg Kale from WMFD, and online we have Carl Hunnell from Richland Source, Kevin Bird, and Sarah Kuhn.
Notice he didn't call Carl Hunnell world class, by the way.
At least he didn't say no class.
Ha
Who said he didn't think it?
ha.
I resemble that remark.
Our first order of business is to talk about a permissive property tax exemption resolution. So the story behind this first agenda item is that last year, House Bill 96, which was in the state operating budget, gave county commissioners the ability to provide an additional property tax relief of piggyback homestead and 2.5% owner occupied tax exemption. So at that time, what we did was in October of 2025, the Richland County Board of Commissioners authorized only the 2.5% owner occupied property tax exemption, which began this past January of 2026. That voluntary property tax exemption was expected to result in a property tax savings for Richland County owner occupied parcels of $1.7 million over 30,000 parcels. And at this time, the resolution before us is to extend that 1 year tax exemption beyond the end of this year to start in January 2027 and go on until repealed. So with that, Amy, would you like to add anything to that? That was kind of the quick summary of what we have planned in this resolution.
Well, Amy's probably got more information than me, and she's the one that dealt with it. But just keep in mind that the resolution, that tax exemption, or no, that tax credit is changing starting next year. Right now, it's 2.5%. Each year, it's going to increment over the next 5 years. It's going to incrementally increase until it reaches, I believe, it's 15.2%. At the same time, 10% non-business tax credit is going to be reduced. So after the end of 5 years, that'll be down to 0. So I would just suggest that you make sure that your resolution sticks to what you want. So if all you want over the next 5 years is 2.5 each of those years, that's what the resolution will state. So it stays at 2.5%. Otherwise, if you follow the state's tax credit, it would incrementally increase over the next 5 years.
Andrew, do we have any guidance on that? It's not
I
my.
mean, our resolution is drafted to make it clear that it's an additional 2.5%, which is the maximum that the.
Correct.
And
That's right.
so it'll stand even as the law changes.
Right.
Over the next couple of years.
Thank you. Just want to make sure that was on the record.
And we believe that's a reasonable and appropriate property tax relief county occupied.
The only thing I see it causes a problem imposing is when you're putting those factors in, the system is not created it's created right now at 2.5% or less than new levies that have passed after a certain time frame, but
13.
it's changing from you have 2.5% is your baseline. So in tax year 2026, who has 2.5% is going to 5.7. So what you guys are saying now is we still only want to give them of that 5.7, 2.5%. So extra. So they're going to get 5.7 from the state that the state gets the school districts get reimbursed for that. But then you're saying we only want to do 2.5%. So what happens is we have to go to our vendor and say, of our tax calculation, we need to pull out 2.5% that does not get dispersed to the entities such as the school district, for an example.
There'll be no reimbursement. It's like this, there's no reimbursement.
And the system does not handle that, which is what we ran into in the fall or in January, basically, when we were calculating taxes. Information had to be created in the system. And it was a big headache.
We want to thank you personally. We know that was a lot of work.
Yeah, we're appreciative of Pat and Amy because.
No, just Amy, just Amy.
And it continues to be a lot of work just on the administrative side to process this.
So one of my main concern is, okay, let's just take Madison Township. We send them their settlement statements, their settlement sheet showing what they're gonna get reimbursed from the state for that 2.5% and the 10% rollback. And they get a figure. So when they get wired that amount or a check that amount, they're balancing with that. So now I could tell them it's half of that. You know, you're only getting reimbursed for half of it because the other half, you know, the commissioners have passed a resolution. So now next year, we're going to 5.7 that they're going to get reimbursed for, but then 2.5% we're adding on top of that 5.7, which I think is great for the taxpayers. You know, it's doable. It's just my concern is there's so many changes going on with the taxes right now, such as House Bill 186 with the inflation cap credit. That have you guys heard of anything that's going to come back and say we're going to do away with feedback? Because I mean, they're getting an increase right now every year because they're taking away the 10% and the 2.5% from what are they called? What terminology do they use? Like
Non-business.
non-business credit for rentals and secondary residential properties. So if Tony owns 2 homes that are residential and there's 10% rollback on there, that is going away as well. So next year, they're not getting the 10%, they're going to 7.5%. And then the following year, they're going to 5%. And then the following year is 2.5%, and then phased out after that.
Clear as mud.
You know this, the commissioner's action will result in property tax savings for over 30,000 parcels in the county, residential parcels. Property tax savings will amount over $1.7 million residential taxpayers throughout Richland County annually.
So another problem that I have is residential property. If it's a rental, they're losing it.
Correct. Owner occupied.
Correct. So you have to take that in consideration when you're trying to do those 30,000 parcels. It's like the 10% is losing, the 2.5% is coming off. And it's just trying to do the settlement is just a complete. I don't know, I'm just concerned about the 2.5%. I can understand if you would say like, we're gonna double each year what it would be, but trying to explain to a taxpayer what their reduction actually is, you know, the system, we could get to calculate it, but another fee would have to be paid to the vendor to calculate behind the scenes. Okay, they have to, because of House Bill 186, they have to change the implementation to calculate correctly. But they don't have to change the system to calculate half of or 2.5% on 5.7, you know, say for next year.
5.7, they have to calculate with no fee to the county.
So, I
We're
mean,
gonna charge us for the 2.5%.
And then you also have where the inflation cap credit is each year, and that's changing. So that's the 20 mil floor. So does that take in consideration the 2.5% rollback that the commissioners adopts on top of the 5.7?
Taxation doesn't know, so we don't know.
well, I think the state, so this isn't and I know when you say this isn't a slate, then it's like, well, it's gonna be slate. It's not. The state legislature, I think, appropriately reacted to residents who are getting frustrated with the increase in property taxes, right? And I'll never say everything because every decision everyone makes, you never get 100% agreement. Certainly the schools voice their concerns with our action, and that's okay. Now I did ask the question, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's been an increase in receipts that have trailed with the increase in the property values that ultimately do play a part in the tax collections. If you recall, I asked that question and it wasn't necessarily answered, but that's why we felt as collections increase for governments, the county included, we needed to provide relief to the taxpayers. But when the legislature does that, which they're responding to the public, I don't think all of them understand what all these changes do to you guys and how difficult it is to administer it. Because like you said, the law allows us the 2.5%. But there's going to be increases to that, as Pat discussed. But then we're capped at the relief at 2.5%. So now you guys, Amy in particular, are faced with the challenge of trying to adapt and follow the changes in the law while also following our resolution for the owner occupant. And it's not easy and sometimes not even sure if it can be calculated appropriately because systems, not just, this isn't common to us. I mean, it's everywhere.
Right.
It's a challenge for all auditors' offices to.
88 counties,
Yep.
yes.
It is. And then some counties have done the piggyback. Well, they've done the owner occupied and the homestead, right?
No, not homesteaded, no,
Some kind of.
no.
Yeah, some counties have. That's correct. Yeah.
They have the
I
option.
think we're just gonna let Amy talk for that's office. It's not easy. We know. And I just don't think sometimes when you're passing high level tax policy, there isn't always thought into how that will actually take place at the lower levels to implement the changes, right? So it's
We
gonna,
recognize and thank you for that. That's a lot. Do I have a motion?
motion.
Second,
Commissioner Mears?
Yes.
Commissioner Banks?
yes.
Commissioner Vero?
Yes.
Okay, Greg, questions?
I guess since I got you mic'd up, Cliff, I'm gonna ask you. So again, just the rationale for continuing the decision that was already made.
Best rationale I could tell you is property tax relief. As Commissioner Vero indicated, there's been an uproar with the increases in property taxes that property owners are paying. And we think this is a measured and appropriate relief for 30,000 parcels, allowing $1.7 million in property tax relief to Richland County owner occupied parcels. So it's not excessive. We think it's reasonable and it's a response to our residents.
And again, we're talking 30,000.
1,000 parcels, right. It was expected to expire. The motion we took in October of 2025 would have expired at the end of this year. This will continue it starting January 1st of next year until a Board of Commissioners rescinds it.
We'll call it indefinite. That'll probably be easier.
Anything else?
This isn't new, this is a continuation.
Could you introduce yourself and ask a question?
Zach Tuggle,
Yeah, Zach.
this isn't new.
You're correct.
Oh, the newsman being on the news. How about that?
Don't want it. This isn't new, this is a continuation.
Yeah, we started this
No, right.
last year.
We're continuing what we've already done.
Yeah, this is just a continuation.
And it's for perpetuity.
Indefinite, we'll call it.
Or ongoing.
Ongoing.
Ongoing. Yeah.
I don't, like Cliff said, it could be repealed at some point. I'm not saying it will or won't. I think probably that would be visited someday down the line if the values then significantly decreased, but I think with the values trending where they are, Pat stopped by my office this morning to talk about this. So this will be ongoing.
Thank you.
Has there been any talk within the Commissioners Association about the inflation cap credit, how this would affect the piggyback, like,
I would imagine in the taxation committee, I haven't had a specific conversation with Cheryl.
you guys,
I'll touch base. I'm talking to him this morning on another item, so we're in constant communication. I'll touch base with him.
Carl? Any question?
Yeah, when you passed this last October, was there a reason you set it to expire at the end of this year and now you're setting it to be ongoing?
We had a reason. We wanted to try it to see how it would work. We did have some pushback, so we thought the initial start would be for a year, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I just don't think, with our first action on that, Carl, that I don't think we wanted to make it indefinite. We wanted to see what kind of changes would be coming from the State House. So it was a way to give us a, transition period to see what was coming down from the State House and also look at property values. Again, values are part of the taxation. Mr. Dropsy and I had a conversation about that this morning. And so we wanted to see how things were gonna shake out before we decided to make it ongoing.
What are you hearing from CCAO that's coming out of with guidance or advice on what to expect coming out of the state legislature involving property taxes? I know it appears from what I read, the group that was trying to get repeal of property taxes failed to get it on the ballot for this year, but now they're working on next year. So what are you hearing from your lobbying group in terms of what to expect out of Columbus next?
Just sending out the legislative briefings. There's continued discussion at the State House, tackle the issue of the increasing property taxes. With respect to that effort, they're telling us exactly what you just said. There weren't enough signatures acquired for the complete abolition of property taxes. But our understanding is that citizen-led effort continues. And our understanding is though they may not even be halfway there for all the signatures they need. So that is what we're hearing on that front.
I attended a session down there, and they were very guarded about the number of signatures that they had acquired. They would say how close they were, how many more they had to go. So they were a little bit, in my opinion, secretive.
Well, it's
Progress.
one. So that led effort, they came and spoke to at a conference, and they talked about transparency in government, that they felt that there wasn't transparency. And if you recall, it was asked, okay, well, in the interest of transparency, how many signatures do you guys have? And they have been less than forthcoming with respect to that effort. So I guess that transparency street only goes one way. And that's not a statement on the movement. I mean, if the public votes and that's
It's
what
just
they
what they
want,
thought,
that's
right?
what they want. But I think if you're gonna say, let's be transparent all the way around, I don't think we're getting, I would say, concise answers or on how many signatures they've acquired.
Okay. Before the vote or the vote this morning on the continuance of this kind of indefinitely or whatever, any discussions with some of the school districts that initially expressed concerns during that October meeting that you guys had downstairs?
I am not.
No, I didn't reach out to all the school districts, Carl.
Okay, that's what I had. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Moving on the agenda.
Maybe Zach, Zach have any more questions?
Move on. I have a motion to certify the record of proceedings. I'm sorry, we're scheduled for executive session at 9:45.
The sheriff is out there.
Sheriff is out there, okay. I'm sorry, we won't move on with the agenda. I didn't realize it was this late. So can I have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Compensation of the
Reason?
public employee.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Commissioner Mears.
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Commissioner Barrow.
Yes.
9:54, the Richland County Board of Commissioners is back in session. Can I have a motion to approve an exception to the sick leave policy within the sheriff's office?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Mears.
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Commissioner Vero.
Yes.
Okay. Moving on to other items on the agenda, could I have a motion to certify the record of proceedings for June 9th?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Mears.
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Commissioner Vero.
Yes.
Could I have a motion to approve requisitions?
So move.
Yeah, go ahead and, yes, second.
Commissioner Mears.
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Commissioner Vero.
Yes.
Could I have a motion to approve weekly transfer requests? I believe you have a question.
So, I don't have a problem with making a motion for approval, just some talking points. So if you notice, the juvenile detention center is requesting a transfer to pay for radios out of health insurance. Now, they had requested 379,949.28 in the 2026 budget. We reviewed them, right, Stacy? You reviewed all the benefits and they got approved at 416,978, right? Was that after your review?
I'd have to go back and look. If that was their modified
Okay.
request or.
I guess the only question I have is they're only on pace at about 302. That's 416's over 100 grand more. You average out where they're coming in every month, they're only on pace to 302. It's pretty significant.
That's something that you can figure out fairly accurately.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand. I would imagine when I looked at this yesterday, you know, Stacy, everyone submits their insurance and Stacy does her thing and does a great job at it. So I would imagine there was an adjustment there. Now they had requested 379.
We approved more than they requested.
Yeah,
I'd have to look to see if they revised their request, but they usually, new employee that they expect coming in, they always budget at family.
right.
They come in at single. Cost is a lot different too.
Okay.
Um,
It's something,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna make a motion to approve, but I do think we should probably get an answer at how that came in so high, considering where they're tracking. Okay,
yep.
thank you. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Commissioner Vero.
Yes.
The next order of business is to approve 3 travel requests from the clerk of courts. Go to the Ohio Clerk of Courts Association monthly meeting, July 15th.
So moved.
Second.
Banks.
Yes.
Commissioner Vero.
Yes.
I have a motion to approve a utility permit application from Columbia Gas to replace 1-inch plastic long gas service line by directional boring at 1999 Millsboro Road East.
So move.
Commissioner Mears.
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Commissioner Vero.
Yes.
I have a motion to authorize advertising for 2026 asphalt resurfacing for 4.141 miles on Middle Belleville Road in Reinhardt.
Second.
Commissioner Mears.
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Commissioner Vero.
Yes.
I should say that resurfacing cost is estimated at $618,091.70. Carl, do you have any questions on anything?
Yeah, just in general, what was, when you came out of the executive session, you approved an exception to the sheriff's department sick leave policy. In general, I don't need to know names, but what were you approving there?
Generally, the approvals of the exceptions involve a pretty serious medical condition where an employee doesn't have enough leave to cover treatment for the medical condition. And you have coworkers who are willing to donate, cover the leave. And one of the things that cannot be is you can't be a sick leave abuser. And so I'm just providing a general overview as to when we approve exceptions, how that generally works, as it involves an unforeseen serious medical condition that's going to require some time off for recovery, and said person doesn't have enough time and coworkers want to help out.
Okay. That's what I had. Thanks.
Okay. Zach, do you have any questions?
No.
Okay. So that concludes our agenda items. I'd like to add one particular item. I'd like to call for an executive session, which was not originally on the agenda, for compensation of a public employee.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Banks,
Yes.
Rivera.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
10:20, the Richland County Board of Commissioners is out of executive session. There's no action to be taken at this time, so if there's no further business to conduct, the Richland County Board of Commissioners stands adjourned at 10:20.